What's up, everyone? This is Dave of Daveland here, and we are 72 boxing on EverQuest EQ Emulator, a local install on my computer. I finally got my mic set up properly, so my voice is a little louder. That's great. So my guys are all level 60. This is my first actual Velious video, and I thought kind of the best way to do this video is to kind of revisit the very first video I ever did, 54 boxing. This was not posted on my YouTube channel. It was posted in the EverQuest Facebook group on Facebook, obviously. And I basically went into halls of testing and killed like one mob and just kind of showed everyone the ridiculousness of running this many characters. It got a lot of hits, like a lot of likes, a lot of loves, a couple of hates or whatever, and some comments. And I said, I'll make a YouTube channel like this. And then I started making an EverQuest YouTube channel, which at this point I've branched out into another game. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of clear halls of testing and get some loot, and I'll show you how I do my loot when I'm in a zone like this. I am gonna GM kill Dozdakar. We're not gonna kill him right now. I'll do him in a separate video. So for now, I'm just kind of finishing buffing, and I'm going to just kind of let them finish their buffing. And meanwhile, I'll talk about halls of testing a little bit. So halls of testing is in Temple of Veeshan. You come in over here on the south side of the zone. You would run up to the center. To the west is where you can get your Kale quest armor. It's West Temple of Veeshan. There's a couple of boss dragons in there. Up north is obviously the kind of the end game raid zone of Velious. It's where all the major lords and ladies are, and Bulak for the best loot in the expansion. And on the right is East Temple of Veeshan, also known as Halls of Testing. It's the only place in Temple of Veeshan you can kill stuff without taking faction hits against the Claws of Veeshan, which are the Skyshrine dragons. So you can come in here and basically kill all the mobs in there and get quest pieces. And what you do is you turn those quest armor pieces in with gems into NPCs at Skyshrine to get armor. I don't do the quest. It just takes too long. So what I do is every time a piece drops, I just give myself that piece. And I'll show you how I do that. So I think people are done buffing Dave. They might still be buffing each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put Dave in GM mode and show you what it looks like to run over to Halt of Testing. I am KOS because I've done a little bit of North Temple Veeshan at this point. So these drakes hate me. But if you were not KOS, if you were aligned of Skyshrine, you could actually... Oh, I'm not KOS. Interesting. Well, you will eventually become KOS if you're killing West or North Temple Veeshan dragons. So anyway, you come up here and you come through here. Here's the big center room. And I think there's a little bit of a frame rate lag on my game. I think I might have to reboot the computer, but that's okay. I highly recommend killing these mobs right here if you're going to hang out in halls of testing up top before you jump down. Just because if that door opens or if you get too close to the door, they'll come in and attack. I don't know why they assist the halls of testing mobs, but I think they can. If anyone's KOS, I don't take the chance. I'm just going to GM kill them real quick. I don't think I get a faction hit for GM killing, so that's fine. Not that I care about my faction from these guys. So a good place to set up right away is like right here, and you can pull that worm and then kill it, and then that worm and kill it. If you're a little more daring, you can jump right into the pit, but there are some wandering mobs. So while you're fighting these first few mobs, I'm just going to kill Dozdakar real quick. While you're fighting these first two mobs that do have a fair share of hit points, give me one sec to clean up the corpses I was here earlier. Okay, so like they do have like 67,000 hit points on this Burning Guardian, and this guy has 67, so also 67,000. So these are like fighting. Each of these are like fighting like 2 Nagafins or 2 Talondors or insert Kunark dragon here. That Tiger Claw Raptor that's wandering by has 60,000. So these are a step up from your typical Kunark raid mobs, and these are trash mobs in the raid zone. Now, almost every mob in this area can drop the quest armor, so we're just going to kill everything, and I'll see how much I want to kill in this video. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump down. This is a one-way drop. There is no way back up. So what happens is once you drop out, the only way out of here is evacuating, teleporting, or getting to the end, which is this west, and there's a Western Ways teleporter. So just be wary of that. You can't get back out if you don't have casters. Now, if you're boxing, I'm sure you have a wizard or a druid in each group or most groups, so it shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my GM summon button to summon everyone to me, and then I'm going to turn off GM mode and just engage. So here we go. Summon everyone. And it looks like everyone's taking their sweet time. There we go. And so I believe the Burning Guardians actually don't drop the gear, and I don't know why that is. Let's make sure everyone's here. Yep, everyone's read /count. I'm gonna debuff the other one so we can have him attack slower and cripple him. Because again, these guys do take a moment to kill. And you may want to have your casters switch spells based on what you're fighting. So like a Burning Guardian, you want to use Ice Magic. And on some of these white worms, some of them use cold AoEs, you might want to use Fire Magic. And I believe each of the different types of mobs have different resistances that they're strong and or weak against. So it's good to switch it up. Maybe have like one of each nuke type memorized, or however you want to do it. I did not set that up yet, and I need to do that. Right now, all my wizards only have one spell memorized for whatever nuke they're using, and that's kind of inefficient because you have to switch on the fly. They have to sit down, open their spellbook, and memorize a new spell, and if they get hit while they're doing that, you could lose a wizard. So not the smartest thing I've done, so I have to get around to doing that. So we're just gonna, so Bria, one of my beast stores, is gonna loot all the corpses, and she won't actually pick up the quest armor because it's no trade, but she'll link it in this chat too, right here. So we'll see whenever something drops. So we're just gonna kind of hang tight and fight stuff until something drops. And it's pretty frequent. I think it's about 30% of the time, 25 to 30% of the time. So it's fairly common. Sometimes mobs will drop a couple pieces. I'm actually surprised nothing dropped from all that. It's kind of a shame. That's okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to use a couple of GM tricks just to make the pulling a little easier. I could actually just have my whole raid run around here. But what I'll do, since I don't have a bow equipped, I'm just going to hit my summon button, pull it in. Obviously you can pull with a monk, you can pull with your main tank, you can pull with anyone. And just to get the pets off the mob, I'm just going to pull it into the room like that. It's just a quality of life thing. Honestly, I could make a hotkey that tells all my pet classes to pull the pets back and then let the mob run in naturally. I'm just trying to speed up time just since we're recording, and I want to show you guys some basic stuff. But obviously a bow and arrow works fine. Ninja stars or whatever works fine. You can even make a summon key for the main tank like that and pull him back and then do that. All kinds of ways you can make it just a little bit faster. If you're going to be, I have so many characters, I have to gear them all up. I just like to cut corners here and there, so I'm not sitting here for like months doing this, right? I want to do this for a shorter amount of time. So I see an unadorned chain coif drop. So what we're going to do is we're going to do /find slot head only chain, because it's a chain. So all chain classes will link their head. We can see most of the characters do not have headpieces. And kind of pick someone arbitrarily, someone who has mana, because I want to get my mana higher. So Sarah's a shaman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, give me one sec. I'm going to go to Alakazam, and I'm going to type Shaman Skyshrine Armor. Go to that quest. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, and it's a helmet, so we know it's a wolf color's helm. Let's just see what it has real quick. And then we can go into Heidi SQL, and we can do select ID, comma name, from items where name like. We're going to do a wolf collar, and we'll do a % for the wild card. And we'll do that, and it's the helm is 31105. So we'll target Sarah and do pound give item 31105 and just confirm that she got it. Now, because she has nothing in her head slot, she will automatically equip it, but if we want it to real quick, we can go over here and just give it to her, like that. And then you move on. The item is still on the corpse, so technically it is still in the game, and I could delete the corpse if I want to, which I do in this zone just to kind of clean up the mess. I'll just, real quick, to delete corpses, you do pound corpse space delete NPC corpses, and that's going to delete all the NPC corpses in the zone. You can do that player corpses as well, delete player corpses. That will bury all the corpses, and if you don't have access to like Shadow Rest, you're not going to get anything on that corpse anymore. So don't do it if you are playing where you drop your stuff when you die. So in my case, when my characters get killed, they keep all their stuff. They don't delete their corpses. They don't drop their money. They don't drop their armor, weapons, anything like that. You can actually enable that mode where it's like old school EverQuest and you drop all your stuff. I just don't have time for that. So I just summoned Dave back to the raid and pull the mob and pull the other mob. Attack. I'm pretty sure the Burning Guardians don't drop anything. I don't know if it's an oversight on the devs who put the, for the emulator who put this in, or if it's actually live accurate and the Burning Guardian just never dropped anything. I'm not really sure. So we're just gonna kind of keep clearing, and eventually we'll move the whole raid out of this pit. This pit can be a little dangerous to sit in if Dozakar is up, because if one of the mobs you pull passes through his room by accident, like you pull too fast and run back to the raid, it will aggro Dozakar. He will assist the dragon or worm or whatever that you're pulling, and then you have a raid mob in the middle of your raid, and if you're not ready for it, he'll kill you. Dozakar has an unresistible AoE that does 500 damage and dispels the buff. So as you can imagine, as time goes on in that fight, you're going to be out of buffs and probably out of hit points, especially since it's going to hit everyone. I'll show you how I do Dozakar in my Dozakar video, which will come up at some point. When you are seeing this video, which is probably going to be in November at this point, because my Kunark videos go that far out, or went that far out, past tense at this point. It's currently October 10th, but I'm guessing this video will go live in mid-November. I'm sure my Dozakar video will already be recorded. So we're just going to kind of keep pulling these guys. I'm getting kind of ripped off on the loot so far. I haven't seen anything. I saw that one chainmail helmet and nothing else, but that's okay. I'm not worried. Sometimes you get a good pull here, and sometimes you get a bad pull. Another place you can get easy armor for everyone, besides halt testing. Oh, there's plate brace. I actually don't loot bracers because I have the blue diamond wrists, and the blue diamond wrists are better for resist, and I need those resists right now, so I'm not going to take that. Anyway, what I was saying was, you can also get armor from Plane of Growth, and those are fairly common drops. They're not as good as the Skyshrine and Kale armor, but I think it's a little easier of a zone when you're not boxing as many characters. The mobs are so much easier there. As far as the risks, I would just say that I use Blue Diamond. I also use the Dozakar quest items. So when you kill Dozakar, he drops four items that can be turned into West Temple of Veeshan for basically best in slot pieces like these for Velious. You would also need to kill the Drakes in Halls of Testing to get the turn in, and have, I think, Ally Faction or Wormly Faction. I don't do Faction when I box, so I give myself the items when I kill Dozakar. So, that's a Cloak of Flame. That was not what I was meaning. It's this one. So these are some best in slots for most classes, at least melee for these two and all for these. So I highly recommend getting stuff like this, killing Dozakar, and just kind of giving it to yourself if you don't want to do the quests. If you want to do the quest, more power to you. It's just the faction grinding and kind of farming Dozakar and the Drakes over and over again. It can be terribly time consuming. But if you like doing it, go for it. In fact, when I was 54 boxing on Project EverQuest, which was my original crew, I didn't have GM commands. I wasn't a GM. So I actually did do the Dozakar quest. I had Dozakar in lockdown for several weeks because I don't think anyone else on the server was doing him. And I must have done most. I did a lot of the quests. I obviously it took much longer because I couldn't make Dozakar spawn over and over again, but it was a lot easier because it was harder. But I was able to get a lot of the quest items and power up my team. The reason I actually started boxing on my own server was that now I don't have to compete. I liked Project EverQuest because I liked the community there. All the boxers had always been so friendly and nice to chat with early in the morning when I wasn't doing anything. But then it got competitive and I was like, nope, I'm going to do it myself. And I made my own server. So here's some boots. We're going to find slot feet only. And I'm not going to check my tanks because my tanks are all getting better boots than what these are. So I'm going to do Bard and Clerics only. And it looks like a lot of people have their Journeyman boots equipped. So I'm just going to kind of grab a random Bard. I'll grab Darren. So the Bard boots are called, I believe, Boots of Twilight. And I think someone has them. Yeah, Elliot does. So what I can do is target Darren. You give item 31139, because it says it right there. And since Darren is wearing boots, I do have to switch them manually. So I'll go from here and just switch them. And it looks like he has a lot of random stuff on him. So that's okay. So yeah, this is basically how you gear up in Halls of Testing during Velious. Super simple. Let's go this way this time. Let's see what we got over here. Like I said, there are Drakes here. I don't think they drop anything but the quest items. I think the Drakes in the North Wing are the ones that drop the kind of the random loot. They drop a couple shields. They drop I think the Ring of Superiority, one of the superiority items. So there's really no point to killing them if you're not doing the quests the proper way. If you're just killing Dozakar and doing it that way, then you don't need to kill the drakes. You can just GM kill them, or just kill them. Like, why not? So this is just a good way to spend. It's what, 9:43 in the morning, and I had nothing to do today because I don't. Not this morning at least. So I'm just getting loot, and I'm getting ripped off because I've killed like a lot of mobs already. I think we've gotten 2 pieces of loot, and it's a shame because I was hoping when I recorded this video we get tons of loot to show you how bountiful this area can be, but not right now. Not right now. So I'm gonna actually take my guys a little deeper in. We're gonna work our way. I might just summon them just so they don't get left behind. There's a whole bunch of mobs over here. Let's go this way. So I think there's gonna be a Drake right around this corner. Yeah. So I'm gonna GM kill the Drake just because we don't need anything on them. I'm just gonna go around this corner. I know there's a mob chasing me at this point. I'll get this guy too. A lot of Burning Guardians are up right now. It's kind of frustrating because the Burning Guardians, like I said, I don't think they actually drop loot. I think they are an exception to the halted testing mobs. And again, I don't know if that's a dev oversight or just that they never did drop loot. So we're oh yeah, I see the Drake dropped the silver symbol. That's a quest item that you combine with the Dozakar items to get the as I said, some of these items, some of these best in slot items. Honestly, I should kill Dozakar like 100 times if I don't want to cheat and just give myself free loot. I want to at least do the encounter. I'd have to kill Dozakar like 1 time for each character to give them 4 of his items, but that feels overwhelming. Yeah, we are getting completely ripped off. This is ridiculous. Where's all the loot? This is unusual. Usually, like I said, I usually get like 2-3 drops sometimes from a single mob, or just like just more than this. But I promise you, if you come here and just do this enough, you can either repop the zone every time you clear out the wing, or you can just come back. I think it's 4 hours. You can come back in 4 hours. So if you don't have GM privileges, like if you're on like someone else's server and no one else is in the zone, you could like take care of it in the morning. If you work from home or whatever, you could like maybe do it at lunch and do it again at the end of the day. So I got a robe, sweet. So do a find slot chest only casters. And let's see if anyone doesn't have a robe. It looks like everyone has a robe. Does anyone have a really bad robe? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Insidious robe, that's decent. I think everyone has a decent robe. So I'm just going to kind of give it to someone arbitrarily. What this loam robe? That's a pretty good robe too. Carmine robe. Tough choice. Let me compare the Carmine robe to the robe of icicles. So the robe of icicles is quite a bit better. So I'm going to give it to Morgan. So we're going to bring up that Carmine robe, that icicle robe again, and we're going to target Morgan. I'm going to give item, let's see, 3, 1, 1, 5, 5. And since Morgan does have an item, we will have to just switch to her real quick. I generally gear up my wizard's mana pools first when it comes to offensive casters, casters like silk classes, because when they run out of mana, they don't do anything. They're useless. At least mages and necros have pets. And my enchanters generally don't use much of their mana because I don't really mez very often, and they mostly debuff, and their debuffs aren't incredibly expensive. My shaman I try to gear up my shaman's mana pretty fast too, because right now I'm having mana trouble buffing everyone because focus is expensive. I have, 4 shaman? I have 4 shaman. Let's see. Yeah, I have 4 shaman trying to buff 12 groups. And not only are they casting focus, but they're casting a couple of other things at the end, and then they just run out of mana. It's a mess. So it's just taking too long to buff. It takes almost 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes to buff. and I'm trying to get that down. I'm trying to do that by getting more mana. You find slot feet, only bard clerics again, get more boots. The other reason I'm not really focusing on the cleric's boots is this drop, when you kill King Tormax, you get his head and you can turn it in for this item. And I don't turn in the head, I just give myself this item. So this is why I shouldn't really give the clerics the boots, because this is super best in slot. 2 mana regen. There's not much mana regen in Velious. Alright, so we'll give it to a bard. So how about Lutestring? Yeah, I'll give it to Lutestring. So Lutestring is the only character in my party who isn't named after someone. So Lutestring is... I'm going to make a whole freaking YouTube video about Lutestring. One of these days, maybe. She was one of my first bards in one of my first 6-box groups on live. And she just died all the time. Like, there was I was bad at pulling. I was bad at fading. She wasn't geared properly. She didn't have like type 5 augs on the newer, on the content pass level like 100. So she would just die in one hit on everything. She would just literally die on every pull. It was so frustrating. It was like, come on, Lutestring. So every time I made a 6-box crew after that, I just had to have classic Lutestring in every group, because she became famous among a couple of my EverQuest buddies about it. And even like my wife, who hears me who listens to me talk about EQ too much, and she's like, so like, what did Lutestring do today? Because what else would she do? She would just drop dead constantly. So I put Lutestring into my 72-box crew, and she actually hasn't died very much. She's actually pretty sturdy in this group. So she's redeeming herself after years of being in my 6-box groups and dying constantly. So this guy dropped 2 pieces, and 2 good pieces: leather legs and chain tunic. That I like. That was off one of the mobs. So I'm just gonna kind of clear out this last Raging Wyvern, and we're gonna see it's dying fairly slowly. I think I'm like out of mana. Let's see. Yeah, I see a lot of low mana there. I'm not terribly. Oh, yep. Okay, casters are just out of mana. So I'm not everyone med for a second. Look at Vambraces too. Nice. All right. So this is gonna take us a second to do the loot anyway. I'll let everyone med up. And we'll do the chain tunic first. So find slot chest only chain. All the chain classes will enter tunic. It looks like John doesn't even have a tunic. So or a chest piece, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna type Ranger Skyshrine armor. Come in here. You do have to go to the armor. You can't go to the individual armor piece pages on the Alchemist because they won't have it. You do have to come here. So Golden Leaf breastplate. So we'll go here. And we'll keep the query the same. We'll just change the thing here to Golden Leaf. And the breastplate is 31113. So we'll target John and give item 31113. 3111. Yep. Okay, we'll close that. And we'll do find slot legs only leather. Looks like a lot of people don't have legs. Or leggings, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna give it to Buddy. So I gotta beef Buddy up, because Buddy is my puller when I do pull, and eventually I'll need 2 monks, or a monk and a bard, or 2 bards. I don't know when bards get fading memories, but for now I have the monks. So Buddy is getting killed a lot, so I'm gonna give it to Buddy. So I don't know what it's called, so we're gonna go back to here, and we're gonna type in Monk Skyshrine armor. That's what it's called. It's called White Lotus pants. So we'll go to Heidi SQL. White Lotus pants is 31194. So target Buddy. Give item 31194. Just make sure. Yep. And we'll close that, and then find slot arms only. I'm gonna say tanks, because no, the Onyx chain sleeves is what's best in slot for the tanks. This is the best in slot. Comes off Ishan of the Sky. But that being said, I don't plan on farming Ishan over and over again to get the sleeves. So I'm going to give it to someone. I'm going to give it to Louisville. So we'll come in here, and we'll go to here. Paladin, Skyshrine armor, and Scaled Knights Embraces. So we'll come here, Scaled Knight. And the Embraces are 31121. Give item 31121. And she already has sleeves. So we're going to just switch to her real quick and give it to her. And that's pretty much how we do it. And I'm glad the loot finally started dropping, because I was getting worried that I was going to do this whole video and not get any loot. So I think I'm gonna call it here. But you basically go through this whole wing and kind of just kill everything, and then you could zone back to the zone line, which you can do with a vac, or you can actually just type pound zone and then hit spacebar, and that will move you to the evac point, which in this case is the zone line. And then you just summon everyone back and do it again. You repop the zone. You can repop the zone with this command, pound repop space force. You have to have force. If you don't put force, it doesn't always seem to work. I don't know why. I could be wrong. So that's how you repop the zone. And yeah, so if you like what you saw, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you like other games, I started posting Flight Simulator videos, so check that out. And I'll eventually have more games up. But yeah, more EverQuest videos to come, and I will see you guys soon.